Okay, let's dive right in because something huge is happening, literally right under our feet. I'm talking about a full-on revolution in the world of running shoes, and it looks like 2025 is the year it all really kicks into high gear.
This is a question pretty much every runner asks themselves, right? You shell out all this money for the latest and greatest tech, but is that wild new foam and fancy carbon plate actually making you faster? Or is it secretly setting you up for an injury that's going to put you on the sidelines? That's the real tension here, and that's what we're going to unpack.
So get this, for 2025, the biggest running brands out there are making a really bold promise. They're saying that inside their newest shoe boxes, it's not just a shoe, it's the answer. The answer to what every single runner dreams of.
I mean, this is the holy trinity for runners, isn't it? That constant quest to run faster, feel better, and somehow stay injury-free. For years, you kind of had to pick two. You wanted more speed? Well, the shoe was probably going to be less comfortable. Wanted more cushioning? It was going to be heavier. But now, in 2025, the claim is that technology has finally cracked the code.
So how exactly are they doing it? Let's pull back the curtain and really break down the breakthroughs that are changing the game.
Well, the heart of this whole revolution is really in the midsole. We are in the middle of an all-out foam war. Each brand is cooking up its own secret sauce. You've got On with their Helion HF, which is all about giving you that high energy return, that spring in your step. Then there's Brooks with DNA Gold, which they're calling brutally reactive. Think explosive, powerful toe-offs. And Adidas is in the game with Light Strike Pro, focusing on being so incredibly light it feels like it's barely even there.
But hey, the magic isn't just happening under your foot. The upper, the part of the shoe that wraps around your foot, is seeing some absolutely wild changes. The goal here? To create a fit that's so perfect it's like a second skin.
And to see just how radical we're talking, check this out. The Swiss brand On has developed this insane manufacturing process called light spray. Okay, picture this. A robotic arm just sprays this special low CO2 liquid with pinpoint precision, and it creates the entire upper of the shoe, all in one go. We're talking no stitching, no glue, almost no waste. It's wild.
So the very first shoe to come out of this futuristic process is the On Cloudboom Strike LS. And the result? Well, you get an upper that's so light and fits so well, it's basically like running a marathon in a high-tech sock. It's completely laceless and weighs, get this, only 30 grams.
And this is a really big deal. It's not just about performance. This is a massive leap forward for sustainability. That light spray process, it cuts carbon emissions by a whopping 75% compared to the old way of making shoes.
So, okay, you take that 30-gram upper, you pair it with their Helion HF foam and a carbon plate, and what do you get? The whole shoe, for a men's size, weighs just 170 grams. For a top-of-the-line racing shoe, that is just ridiculously, astonishingly light.
Of course, all this cutting-edge, next-level innovation, it's going to come with a price tag to match. The On Cloudboom Strike LS is going to set you back a cool 330 euros. Yeah, turns out speed isn't cheap.
And the tech revolution doesn't stop there. Oh no, the shoes themselves are getting smarter. We're starting to see stuff like built-in movement sensors that can measure your rhythm and cadence. Integrated GPS so you can track your run without even needing a watch. And of course, those carbon plates are getting more and more advanced for that extra push-off.
Okay, so we've got shoes that are lighter, faster, and smarter. Sounds like a win-win-win, right? Well, this is where the story takes a pretty sharp turn. What if all this amazing tech comes with a hidden cost?
Let's dig into some data. A big study from 2025 looked at elite athletes in Spain, and it found that a massive 83.3% of them used what scientists call TARS. That's just a fancy acronym for technologically advanced running shoes. So yeah, these super shoes are completely dominating the pro scene.
But here's where it gets fascinating. The study found that these shoes affect different athletes in completely different ways. For long-distance runners, about 75% of them felt less tired. But for sprinters, over half of them actually felt more tired. So right away, you see the benefits aren't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. And then, the study dropped a bombshell. The authors gave a pretty stark warning. They found a direct link. The more time an athlete spent running in these advanced shoes, the greater the chance of what they call time loss injuries. And that means exactly what it sounds like. Injuries so bad you have to stop training or competing.
And let's put a hard number to that. Almost half.
47.5% of all the elite athletes in this study reported getting one of those time loss injuries. Think about that. The very same tech that's designed to make you faster might also be making you more prone to getting hurt.
So, what does all this mean for you? For me? For the everyday runner? Well, it means that the idea of one best shoe is kind of dead. The future isn't just about cramming more tech into a shoe. It's about finding the right tech for your body, your form, and what you're trying to achieve.
Let's take a simple example, something called shoe drop. All that is the height difference between the heel and the toe. A high drop shoe has a much thicker heel, which can make you land on it. A low drop shoe is flatter, which encourages more of a midfoot landing. Now, one isn't automatically better than the other, but the right one for you could make all the difference for your efficiency and even your risk of injury.
Okay, so you say, great, I'll pay attention to shoe drop. You look at the specs on the box or on the website, but here's the next question. Can you actually trust those numbers?
And this is where independent lab testing is so important. There are labs out there that buy the shoes off the shelf just like we do, take them into their workshop, and literally saw them in half. It's awesome. They follow strict World Athletic standards to measure everything precisely, the real height, the real drop, giving you data you can actually trust, not just marketing copy.
So when we look at the future of running shoes, the whole conversation is changing. It's becoming less about what's the absolute fastest shoe out there, and more about what's the right shoe for me. The power is really shifting back to us, the runners.
And the next big wave of innovation? It's already happening, and it's all about sustainability. We're seeing some truly incredible stuff, like these Adidas Futurecraft 3D shoes. That whole midsole is 3D printed using plastic pulled from the ocean. How cool is that?
Which kind of brings it all back to you. The next time you're getting ready for a run, what's your top priority going to be? Are you going to go for the fastest possible tech, knowing the potential risks? Are you going to look for the shoe that feels the safest, the most comfortable for your body? Or maybe you'll choose the one that does the least harm to the planet. The cool thing is, now more than ever, that choice is really yours.